don't dance.
No, I do. I just had a day to learn it. I don't need y'all laughing at me.
Fine.
I can twerk better than I can do all this.
Welcome to Top Rope Spoilers.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm Steve.
I'm Kia, the one that has no sense.
We're not dropping it like it's hot, but we'll set it down like it's lukewarm.
No,
okay?
I'm dropping it like it's hot.
Welcome to our Top Rope Spoiler for SummerSlam. I mean, look, if you're not in as good a frame as we are to do all of this, then first of all, what are you doing here? There are better things to do with your time. Thank you to Cardi B for allowing us, along with basically 3/4 of the free world, to use her song. That was Up. You know, if you don't know it by now, where have you been? You've been living under a rock. But not the rock, but a rock. Spoiler for tonight, maybe.
Sorry.
But either way, welcome to Top Rope Spoilers. Of course, you know, we understand why a lot of you are here as well. Of course, we're doing our giveaways today. This is the show we're doing so.
You know I'm excited about our giveaways. I love free stuff, and that's not just because I'm me. I love free food and free items, and so I'm not going to pass down anything free. Hopefully y'all don't either.
True that. I'll let you get your phone set up real quick, but because we'll need that in order to keep an eye on our comments and whatnot. But hopefully everyone's having themselves a great Saturday. You know, I know we're doing this a little early if you're out on the West Coast, or if you're like some of our people who messaged us that are watching this from India. It's like 3 a.m. where you're at. If you are and you're watching this live, thank you so much. Goodness gracious. I don't know what they're doing at 3 a.m., but I know what I'm not doing at 3 a.m., and that's anything that has my eyes open. Like I don't do that late. But either way, we're gonna have, as we said, of course, 2 giveaways. We're giving away WWE Shop T-Shirts of your choosing. Basically, you let us know which one you want. We'll DM you, get addresses, everything that we need, and we'll go ahead and send it off in your direction. So continue to stick with us, because you never know when the actual wheel spins are gonna pop up, but they're gonna pop up randomly here at some point, and when that time comes, everyone's going to be in here. We ended up checking it out. We had exactly 100 people who were a part of this, you know, with multiple entries in there and everything. So, you know, plenty of opportunities, plenty of fun. But let's get to our show, because hey, it's Saturday and we want to get to it so that way everybody can enjoy the rest of their day prior to SummerSlam. For those of you who we are live, sweetie.
I just want to make sure I smell good. I know you've got to stand next to me, so I got to make sure that's a point.
Yeah. Dude, no point for you here. For those of you who watched our Top Rope Spoilers for NXT TakeOver, you saw the scores already, 25-18. We don't need to go through all that again.
Nope.
You know, of course, we have this one, and then we have our pending NXT TakeOver, which will be on Sunday.
Yep. That
That episode's already out, so if you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. But let's get right on to our matches. And we're going to go ahead and open up with a singles match. 7 championship matches on the SummerSlam card out of 10. This one is not a championship match, more of a rivalry that's been in the making for quite some time, and that is the former WWE champions going head-to-head, Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal going one-on-one.
You know who we're missing in this picture? It's 2/3 of 3MB, and we do not have... I have kids. Heath Slater.
Yeah, where's he at? We need him back. You know, maybe we get him as like a guest referee for this match or something, a nice little surprise or something. Because, hey, we all know about the big surprise who came in yesterday over in AEW. If you haven't seen it by now, again, you're probably living under a rock. But, you know, the fact is we're not going to be the ones to provide that spoiler. Go check it out for yourself. This has been one where, you know, they were good friends back at 3MB, good friends when they were younger. You know, but lately there's just been a lot of level of disrespect between the two. Jinder Mahal feeling like, you know, Drew has always felt like he's one up above him. Of course, Drew, the more recent WWE champion. Jinder, of course, you know, no slouch himself. He was a champion for 6 months himself.
Yeah.
But, you know, at this point, these two have decided they've disrespected each other enough times. Jinder's decided he's had it enough, and Drew's finally not going to take it anymore. So here we are with this rivalry matchup. It's nice to see that Drew found his way onto the card even without a title match. But, you know, I mean, we have this one opening the show, and, I mean, for legitimate reasons. It's not for a title, and it feels like, honestly, a match, at least in my opinion, that's kind of just thrown in there. This could have happened on Raw.
Oh, I already know my pick. I'm not going to even have to go through an explanation.
So no further quick discussion on this one. Because we do have 10 matches on the card and we know we got places to be, our discussion may not be quite as long as, hey, let's call a spade a spade. Y'all want to know who wins the T-shirts, okay? And feel free to tell us in the comment to speed things up if you need to. But, you know, that's exactly what this is. I'm ahead. I go first. Drew. I mean, I don't see how Jinder wins this match, especially with his little posse, you know, not being banned from ringside for this particular match. I don't see how Drew doesn't win this match. I think this is a good opening card match. I could potentially see this one maybe even falling on the kickoff show, but Drew wins this one easy.
Yeah, I agree. There's really no need for explanation. Drew's been here. He's done what he's supposed to do. He hasn't gone anywhere. His work ethic is impeccable. He's like the company guy. He's the first one in, the last one out. Wherever they need him, he is. Whatever he needs to do, he'll do. So in my opinion, I feel like even though he doesn't have a title, I feel like he still is respected enough to put on a good match against Jinder Mahal. So my pick is going to be Drew. There's no way around it.
I almost feel like this was a free point, you know, because I don't see Drew losing this after everything you've done with him for the last year and a half. He carried the company through the Thunderdome era. You know, good to see Jinder find a way to get a storyline to get on the mat, to get on the card. Hey, bravo to him. He's gonna get the check for it. But you know, I don't see a scenario where Drew loses this one.
Nope, I don't either.
Moving on to match 2, and of course, as we always want, you know, put your comments in the section below. A couple highs out there. Jay Torres, we see you saying hi out there. See you. Good to see you. You know, let us know your picks as we go through each one of them. We want to know what the audience feels like. We were thinking about starting like an audience poll where, you know, now we're going to start like taking the votes of our audience and adding them to our scoreboard to see how they feel about a particular situation. So
do you side with Steve or do you side with Kia?
Well, we both picked Drew, so.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Anyway, match 2, and I gotta remember who's up. Oh yeah. This one should be fun, honestly.
Oh, this is a fun
For the
one.
Raw Tag Team Championships, a team that now at this point, remember we were talking about AJ and Omos not being the established team
but now,
when they went into WrestleMania. Now they are the established team against a team of 2 individuals who, frankly, at this point are really teaming with each other just because they don't like these guys. But Omos and AJ Styles defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against the team of RK Bro, which is Randy Orton and Riddle. Now, I'm still in my mind trying to figure out how this happened. I mean, I get the name works out well, but when you picture the entire roster and who could you merge with someone, who could you pair with someone, I didn't picture these 2 ever at any point ever being a tag team together, let alone having a shot at a tag team championship, and yet here we are.
But you have to understand, you know, Riddle as well as AJ Styles, I feel like AJ can work with anybody on the main roster. I feel like AJ can work with anybody on the main roster. Riddle, I feel like it's the same way. Riddle is the type of person, I can work with anybody, I can do anything. We've seen him work with Jeff Hardy, we've seen him work with plenty of others. But to have this odd pairing, I can see what you're talking about. But in my opinion, you know, despite the turmoil or the frustrations or, you know, Randy Orton being who he is, again, Orton is an established veteran, and he's actually, anytime you work with Orton, you're getting an established veteran that has been around, that has grown, that knows what he's doing. So I feel like this team, even though it's kind of an odd pairing, he's passing off a lot of his knowledge to Riddle. And Riddle is soaking it in, literally and figuratively, when he acts like he's like in the mind of Randy Orton. He's acting like Randy Orton. I feel like this is a good pairing, even though it's odd. This pairing, I never imagined when they came into it. I just figured it was a temporary thing, just to win the titles, and then that's it. But then they've been pairing really well together. They've learned each other. They've learned in and out of the ring what they can and cannot do and how they can and cannot work. And we just thought for the longest time he was just going to be a tall bodyguard, but he almost has become more than a bodyguard to AJ Styles. He's become an equal partner in the ring.
Exactly, and Omos has proven his worth. I mean, despite the fact that, of course, he's a very large-statured man, you know, has held his own in the ring, has the capacity to be able to virtually win a match on his own, even if AJ's struggling, because we know AJ and Randy Orton have the capability of having great matches. Riddle, of course, winning his initial match on Smackdown going back almost a year ago against AJ Styles. So we know all of them have the capacity to beat Styles by themselves, but then you add Omos in there as well. It makes that a tough duo to be able to really go up against. But the team of Orton and Riddle just seems like, you know, it's one of those pairings that, again, it's 2 snakes out there. You know, you really don't know what either one of them are going to do. And with all due respect, Orton's just as likely to RKO Styles as Omos. He's just as likely to RKO Riddle. You know, himself, even during the middle of a match. He may say, we've got this thing handled, or may decide, you know what, I'm done with this. And may easily walk out on Riddle. So that's really the thought process is, we know this team is established. And assuming that they can hang with them, do you trust this team to be able to stay together long enough with Orton willing to play along long enough for them to be able to win the tag team titles? Your pick, who you got?
For me, I love both teams, honestly, but I will have to go with the non-established team that's been working together. And yes, you've seen some turmoil and you've seen some disconnect and everything, but you also have to understand Riddle literally has stepped up and has, when Randy Orton has not been there, has literally gotten into the mindset of Randy Orton. I'm going to be like him. I'm going to do what he does. I'm going to make him proud. It's pretty much like a father, or like a son trying to make his father proud type deal. And I feel like this team right here, for me, I think could get it done with the way they work together. And I don't see Randy Orton walking out But again, now I do see Randy Orton walking out if he's gotten tired of Riddle. But that is what it is. So it's going to be rated RK Bro.
Now, you know, and I definitely could see where that's coming into play because we've seen how good rated RK Bro can be if they're able to establish themselves as a team and Orton's willing to play along long enough. The trick is going to be, can they be able to stay established? I'm going to go with along the lines, and I'm going to be the one who's going to play devil's advocate here. I don't think it's going to matter. That's the reason.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care how good this team is. Orton has already proven he can't RKO Omos. Riddle's already proven he can't hit most of his moves on Omos. It's going to come down to them being able to separate out styles from Omos, similar to what the New Day tried to do at WrestleMania, which worked until he was able to tag in Omos, and then it was game over.
Mm-hmm.
He has the ability to be able to turn this match around completely by himself, even against two very well-established competitors. You know, Orton, if he sticks around and is willing to play along, they've got a chance, an absolute legitimate chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it's going to matter though, because honestly, I think he's the deal breaker in all this. He's the ace in the hole, and that's going to be the reason why. I'm going actually against most of the crowd. I think AJ and Omos retain. I actually like them staying the Raw Tag Team Champions for now.
Okay.
Not to say they won't get it at some point. I just don't think it happens now.
We'll see.
You know, I see a lot of our folks in here. You know, they've been discussing what's going to be the match of the night, what should be the main event. Of course, Reigns and Cena and Bianca and Sasha, both legitimate choices. You could potentially see Bobby and Lashley and Goldberg. And for those of you, of course, asking, are we doing our giveaway for those joining us late? Yes, we're doing two of them. At some point randomly, it's going to pop up with something that says wheel time, and we're going to pop out the wheel to determine our first winner. So stick around with us because you never know when it's going to pop up. I don't even know when it's going to pop up. So we're gonna find out all together at the same time. That's the joy of doing things live. But let's move on to our third match, and we're gonna stay in the tag team division, but this time we're moving it back to SmackDown, and this will be a rematch from our last pay-per-view Money in the Bank, where we saw a title change, and now the question is, can the Bloodline be able to continue its stranglehold on all of the SmackDown gold as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, will try to make the head of the table proud as they defend against the former champions Rey and Dominik Mysterio.
I mean, for me, I like both teams. I love both teams. I've seen Dominik grow up in the business with his father. I've seen Rey be here and pass on valuable.
Remember he was
when he was tiny, and he was on the sidelines, and he was watching his, father wrestle. So now it's come full circle, and now they're together. And it's commendable that Rey, for the longest time, if I got it correct, did not have a contract when he went into this, and now he does.
He went about 6 months last year under no contract. It was basically just a handshake agreement.
Yeah, and
because he wanted to work with his son.
And the Usos, I mean, look at the board. Family, father and son, brother and brother. There is no better match, in my opinion, than having to be able to work with a family member. These two right here have worked together all their life, from the moment they were born all the way up till now. These two right here, father and son, have done the same thing, just not in this capacity.
Four guys up here raised in this business.
Exactly.
Because, of course, remember who their father is, Rikishi.
Rikishi.
You know, they literally grew up their childhood in this business. Rey Mysterio, a 25-year established veteran across multiple companies, multiple brands. Literally, if the company exists, Rey Mysterio's probably wrestled for them at some point.
Exactly.
And then you've got Dominik, who has watched literally from his father's side the entire time, now sitting here competing alongside him in the ring at the same time. That man could not be any prouder right now.
Yeah.
I remember him saying when they won the tag team titles, he said, I don't care how many world titles I've won. He said, that's the highlight of my career, is winning the tag team championships with my son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there can't be a prouder moment. As a father myself, there's no prouder moment than getting to watch your son succeed at something that you know he's passionate about, and also that you're passionate about. You know, and then you've got the Usos, who are making Rikishi and the rest of the Anoa'i family so proud, because they've come in here, I mean, 7-time champions. You know, it may not be the most out there, but they've definitely had the most entertaining. They've done it as heels, they've done it as faces. You know, now they're doing it, not just the fact that they are being the side pieces to Roman Reigns, but Roman's also kind of given them the freedom to say, look, tag team champions, you've established yourself, go handle your business, go make the family proud, and then when y'all are done, come back and find me and get back in your place and go handle your business. And they've been able to handle both up to this point. So, you know, it's going to be coming down to exactly what it is. These teams have traded some singles victories against each other. Of course, we know the Usos won using a little bit of an underhanded tactic, as typical heels do. I'm up first, right?
Yes.
Third one, so yeah. Okay. I like the Usos. I like them staying as the tag team champions. I think the Bloodline right now, I think it's the most powerful story that you're running right now, especially on SmackDown, but I'd argue across any brand right now. It's the best storyline being run. They're doing well with the gold, and as long as they're holding the gold, that is going to continue to stay strong. That's no disrespect to the Mysterios. This absolutely has the capacity to be a match that could steal the show because of the aerial capabilities of all four of them.
Oh, yeah.
But I like the Usos finding a way to retain.
I do too. Like you said, and you brought it up earlier, they have done heels, faces, entertaining. They have been mean. They have been nice. I've seen them sing. I've seen them dance. I've seen them rap. To me, every form of evolution that these two have gone through, and I've been there since day one, and yes, that is meant, and I've just watched how they've grown and they've matured in their wrestling and as together as brothers, but I've also seen, for the short period of time that they've been together and Dominik has been here, I've seen the evolution between father and son as well. No disrespect, as much as I love the Mysterios and I grew up with, watching Dominik come into this business because I started in 2005, I am not picking them. I am also behind, so I've got to go with the Usos.
Well, you won't catch up with me if you keep picking the same, but, I can see definitely where you came up with your pick here. Just the Usos seem to be the team that's got more momentum
But
right
here's my thing. I love going back through my Instagram, and I love looking at the different pictures, and there was one picture that I saw where they were all together. I think Roman was in the middle, and, they were by his side. I felt like that was the most fiercest, most badass picture I think I have seen to break the internet.
There you go. So we both like the Usos in this one. All right. So let's see. Is it wheel time or is it time for another match? Let's see what we got. Nope. Another match coming up, and this one a non-title match, but one that's I don't think is going to require much discussion from you, is it?
Alexa.
Luckily, I unplugged her before we got started. This one is definitely the emotional storyline of all of it, because you've had the mind games and everything else as Alexa Bliss, and now basically in her full fiend form, full gothic form, whatever you want to call her, going one-on-one with Eva Marie. Doudrop's in the picture for now, but I have to wonder after what happened on Raw, is Doudrop going to be willing to stick around to help Eva? But this may get ugly.
First of all, let me go ahead and say one thing. If you ever slapped me, you would be getting up off the ground twice. She'd be getting up off the ground, pink hair and all. Nobody. The fact Doudrop, I don't even like the name. Let's go back to Piper Niven's. That fit her better. This whole storyline has kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it's no mystery. I do not like it. And honestly, I'm going to tell you something. She's better off the show than on the show, because she's come back and nothing about her storyline has changed whatsoever. It just blows my mind how she can come back and jump right into it. And now she's got a supposed bodyguard. It's sickening to me. And Alexa has been here, has done her job, has gone through every transition and every evolution, and now she's in her fiend mode, as we like to say. Her mode of, I'm the best, I'm the baddest, I've been here. Yes, my friend Lily, and no, Lily is not just a doll for anybody that's thinking that. Lily seems like she's got a mind of her own. She's going to do what she's going to do, and if she don't like you, she's going to get rid of you in some way. And I'm kind of hoping that Lily plays a role in this match and takes Eva Marie out, because the disrespect that Lily has received is just underwhelming.
I agree with that. Honestly, ever since really they released Bray Wyatt, and I know that came as a shock to a lot of people, a lot of storyline, or not storyline, but a lot of reports being written is about mental health. We're all about that. So, and if that's the real reason, more power to them. Go handle yourself. Go handle your business. But Alexa has really had to take on this fiend role now completely by herself. I don't think there's anyone in the women's division who I think is better capable of being able to handle virtually any role than Alexa Bliss. I think she's made perfectly for this situation. But now you wonder, going up against Eva Marie, who has been viewed by most as Vince's golden girl, is this something where they may give Eva Marie, a shocking win over Alexa? But also at the same time, if you do that, then basically you eliminate everything that you have spent over a year prepping up, because the evolution of her being taken over by the Fiend happened just over a year ago, and it really brought itself out at SummerSlam. So now it's time to see what a year in this form has done. You're up first, but I don't think you're going to need long.
Alexa.
That's it?
That's all I need. She's been here. She's been carrying the show, and like you said, she's done everything, and she's literally carrying a storyline by herself with Lily. Eva Marie has just come back, and as much as she says she's worked hard and she's done what she's supposed to, Why is it that you're coming back and you're doing the same stale stuff that you were doing before you left? Just different color hair, just different gear, and now you got a bodyguard who they need to go ahead and just change her name back to Piper Niven when she was the most legit baddie in NXT, UK or whatever. This to me is not working. And you got one more time to slap this girl. I guarantee you, one time.
They're not going to get a chance to slap her again. I guarantee that. I'm going with Alexa as well. I think you've done, even if you take away the Eva and Doudrop storyline completely, you've done too much work to build up Alexa Bliss to this form. You're doing an absolute disrespect to everything that she's done and everything that has brought into play for the last year if you allow a person who virtually never steps in the ring on her own to now pick up a win over the person who has thoroughly conquered, the women's champions in WWE over the last year despite not holding the title herself. I think this is the one where she finally staples her mouth shut, maybe literally, and brings it into this, and then I think it's perhaps time for Alexa to start maybe eyeballing that Raw Women's title. I like Alexa in this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we continue moving on. I'm seeing a lot of discussion about Alexa. I'm seeing a lot of discussion in there, of course, about Rampage. I feel like we should be yelling Archer quotes by now about what happened yesterday. It was a good show. I want to go back and watch that Kiera Hogan and Jade Cargill match. I've heard nothing but good things. Yes, the whole, surprise return of a certain someone, a certain straight edge guy, perhaps, made the news, but at the same time, the women are out there getting fiercer, because I remember that was the biggest weakness of AEW was their women's division, and you see matches like this where even if it's not for titles, you're still making one of your main cards. It's good to see them starting to build up their women's division with not only that, but African-American women leading the way. You look at Velvet, you look at Jade Cargill, you look at Kiera Hogan. I mean, that's a stellar trio to bring out there.
But you know who led that charge?
Who brought it?
Bianca and Sasha.
Yep.
Let's say it started on WWE.
Moving on, and nope, still one more match. Hang on, I think I see wheel time, so get yourselves ready. It's coming up after this one. Don't get too excited, though. Let us get our picks in. But this is going to be for the United States Championship, and of course it is. I'm not sure so much a rivalry. Damn, this thing's heavy. But just finally a showing of just basically respect versus disrespect. You've seen the United States Champion Sheamus defending here against Damian Priest. This will be Priest's first title match since joining the main roster. His first opportunity to be able to win gold. Of course, he was the North American champion for a little while when he was down in NXT. But Sheamus, of course, battling, the broken nose, wearing the mask and everything, very Cody Rhodes-esque from, about 10 years ago. But, has, for the most part, done exactly what you expect a heel champion to do, which is basically thrash smaller folks and essentially duck the bigger folks. And for the most part, that's exactly what Damian has done, is essentially force the bully to have to come to him instead of pushing the storyline of him having to go after Sheamus himself. He's beaten Sheamus one-on-one in a contenders match already. So, really it comes down to we know what Sheamus can do. Multiple-time world champion, multiple-time mid-card champion, tag team champion. But are they ready to hand the reins of the mid-card to Priest?
I feel like, in my opinion, we've seen Sheamus and everything he can do, and as much as I do love Sheamus, I feel like if you hand this United States Championship title, as heavy as it is, to Priest, I feel like he could hold it, carry it, and I feel like he would do it justice. Not that Sheamus is not doing it justice, but I feel like if he can come out and he can call out the bully and say, the bully's coming to me, I'm not going to you, you're coming to me, I feel like that is a legit, I'm secure, I know I'm ready for this match, I'm going to get it done. Oh, and also, I'm taking your title in the process. So, yeah, come on over here, let's get it up and let's get it going. So I feel like, it is what it is.
Well, this is where the new push comes in, because for the most part, because of his legitimate, nose, he really did actually break his nose, and had to spend a couple of weeks out. You saw the surgery photos and everything. Yeah. Sheamus has been able to hold on to his title, doing just enough to be able to hold on to it in storyline, but he's been doing it against smaller opponents. You see, like Humberto Carrillo, you saw Angel Garza for a little while. But Damian Priest has been easily the biggest threat to his championship up to this point. Sorry, I forgot to mention Ricochet as well. But they've also kind of interjected themselves into the storyline as well, and that's where you would think that Sheamus, because of all the people that he's pissed off up to this point, are they all going to come back to haunt him in a match like this? So, it really comes down to, the powers that be deciding whether they're ready for Damian Priest to hold that championship and get, his legitimate chance. And this is a match where, I do potentially see that happening. So I'm actually going to pick first in this one, and I am going to pick Damian Priest to win the United States Championship. I think they're ready for him. I think Sheamus has up to the point now where, you know, he's battled with the broken nose, he's battled with everything else, but has gone through it like a veteran should. You know, he's a veteran of almost 15 years now. Hard to believe that, but, you know, he's been here for a while. But he's earned some time away. He's held the championship and made it relevant, even despite his injury. But I think it's time to push in the new blood. I think Damian Priest would be a great United States champion, and I think they're ready to go ahead and start giving him that early push. I do like Damian Priest winning the U.S. title.
Honestly, I'm going to have to second that, not only because Sheamus has done well with it, but I feel like I said, Priest will carry it. Not only, Priest has never been the one to duck or dodge or bob or weave against anyone. Priest, if he's looking for a fight, will find a fight and he will go to it, or that he will have them come to him. So I feel like him holding this title, I feel like he would do it a little bit more justice because he seems like he's a fighting competitor, and I feel like he would actually have it done every week, like kind of a Cena-esque thing where when he had the United States champion, where it was
open challenges.
Open challenge. I feel like Priest would do something like that.
Can you imagine the combinations?
Yeah, I feel like they're endless. But for me, I would love to see Priest with the United States champion. I feel like he would also be legit bad when he holds it up in the air. It's just something about like a guy that wears leather and has cool hair when they rock the championship.
And our producer Alyssa back there, you know, smiling and enjoying the moment back there as well. So apparently leather's the go, ladies. Am I right? Wrong? Help me out on this one.
So either way, Priest. I'm going Priest all day.
Priest as well. All right. So as we said, I saw a little blip go across, and that is because it is wheel time. As we showed already on our thing, this is what everybody, I figure a lot of folks have been in our side, you know, waiting for the opportunity. So let me minimize this and get our wheel on the board here.
So while you're doing that, I see someone that has stepped in. We want to say hello to Big Hirsch. He is part of Mania Club. Hey, how are you?
Big Hirsch. Hey, we love our Mania Club showing up here.
We really do.
So what we are going to do is, for anybody who has never seen our wheel first of all, as I said, we took every person who is, you know, has put in a thing. We awarded opportunities for you, of course, to enter our contest. Gave you chances to pick up some extra entries because of watching Top Rope spoilers for NXT, watching Plate Exchange yesterday, of course following us on Twitter, following us and doing the follows here on Instagram and everything else. And ultimately in the end, when you added up the entire board, we ended up with exactly 100 entries. So everybody has exactly a 1% chance, or possibly more if you earn some extra entries, you know, so you might have a 2, 3, 4% chance, potentially as many as you got. So what we're going to do is just completely out of random because, hey, we don't even know who's going to win either. We're going to find out same time you do. Miss Alyssa, our producer, is going to spit out a number between 1 and 10.
5.
5. All right, so we are going to randomize the wheel 5 times. So shuffle once, twice, thrice, and I don't know what comes after that. 4 and 5, and then we're going to full screen this thing. I cannot see where the full screen button is. It's on here somewhere. Maybe I'm blocking it. Okay. This is what happens when you try to do things live and you don't know where anything is. So give me a second here to find the wheel here. Because I know there's a way to full screen this thing, but I can't see the button to do so. I know it's like down here somewhere. Yeah, screw it. We'll just spin it. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so everybody who's been waiting, you know, opportunity to be able to go here. The wheel's going to spin one time. It's going to spin for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then it's going to pop up with a winner. I'm going to try one more time to try to find it. I like keeping my audience in suspense. But aside from that, if this ends up not planning out, then at that point we'll just go ahead and spin it here. Yep, there it is. All right, so now we got it on full screen, and the name's just going to pop up here. Whoever ends up winning, you will be communicated through whichever form of social media that you ended up officially winning by. So if you want it through Twitter, if you want it through Instagram, that's where we'll contact you. We'll DM you after the show, and we'll go ahead and put details. So with no further ado, here is spin number 1.
I'm excited.
Alexis 23 Frick, and this would be off Instagram because I didn't put anything off to the side of it. So if Alexis 23 Frick, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, is in the audience anywhere or anything else, and even if you're not, you are the winner of our first WWE Shop T-Shirt. Congratulations. you know, more power to you. So we're going to be DMing you after the show. So if you don't have your direct messages open, make sure you set them up between now and then.
Yep.
So that way we can get in contact with you. But at this point, you know, that's our first winner. This entry will be removed from the second spin when we get to it a little bit later. Because, I mean, technically it is mathematically possible for the same person to win twice if you had multiple entries.
But
at least this one will not be in here.
We like to keep it fair here.
Exactly. So at this point, that's our first winner. If you didn't win this one, hey, don't worry. There's still one more spin to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide that choice, so that way she's eliminated from the next one. That brings us down to 99 entrants. And now I got to figure out how to unwidescreen this thing so we can get back to our
matches
presentation. So go back over here. And where is my mouse? There it is. So now we return back to SummerSlam, and we end up hitting our next match. And Kia, I know, has been waiting for this one. Look at that! Look at that smile. Alyssa back here smiling like crazy too.
So it's not just the battle of attritions for me. It's the battle of the best hair. You have the ultimate opportunist in Edge, and then you have the architect, the Messiah, whatever you want to call him, Friday Night Frock or whatever. Either way, I'm loving this match. I'm excited for this match, and I've seen previews. I was nervous yesterday when I saw Edge doing the whole brood thing. I was like, are they bringing that back? If they are, I'm with it. But this right here is the most exciting match.
Hook it in, right? Hook it into your veins.
Edge here, Seth here.
This go back 6 months ago. This is dream match stuff right here. Everyone, when the Shield was making their big run,
yes,
they made it about a year or so after Edge had to officially retire.
Yeah.
This, for almost a decade, has been dream match scenario.
And
you could only picture it if you turned on an Xbox or a PlayStation.
And right now, it's actually about to come true.
Tonight. Like, we don't even have to wait. It's like before we go to sleep again.
I'm excited.
This match is going to happen.
I'll be at work, so no spoilers, please.
You know, I mean, again, this is the stuff that, you know, these are the dream matches you make of, and not the only one we're going to see here at SummerSlam, you know, because I can tell you right now, Reigns and Cena wasn't supposed to ever happen either, and yet here it is. I mean, it's happened once, but it was years ago. But this was not supposed to happen, ever.
So, pretty much my past, me and my future, these are always the best matches for me, because I get to look back and say, when I started watching, I was watching for him. And while I'm still watching, I'm watching for him. But to get to see them on the stage and in the ring together and like just going back and forth, I'm wondering who's going to one up who, because these two right here, I feel like it's one up, one up, one up, one up. And I feel like just watching them, my mind will explode of excitement, of enthusiasm, and it is what it is.
Right. Now, I mean, and anybody who watches our show knows I'm absolutely a stat guy. I don't even need to spit out all their accolades. Multiple-time world champion, multiple-time world champion, multiple-time WrestleMania main eventers. You know,
yes,
these guys have done it all. Literally everything you can do in this business. Already a Hall of Famer.
First
ballot Hall of Famer when he's done. Both married well. You know, both had kids well.
Yes, they
did.
know,
so bravo to both of them. Hey, Beth Phoenix, Becky Lynch, you know, hey, bravo to them as well, because that means that not only, what do they say, behind every good man is a
woman rolling her eyes?
There you go.
Or is that what you say for me?
Either way, it works, right?
Yeah.
Because believe me, she rolls her eyes plenty. You can hear those things rattling in the middle of the night. See, there it goes right now. But, you know, this is everything to dream of. This is absolutely going to be your match of the night. I don't even need to sit here and look at the rest of it. You know, the only thing that you wish you could have happened is you wish you could have gotten Edge maybe 8 or 9 years ago when he was still in his prime, still in his championship form. But ever since he's come back, he's proven that he's capable of being able to compete in matches like this. He was on the main event stage at WrestleMania. He had a main event match with Roman Reigns at Money in the Bank, and now you're getting this matchup with Seth Rollins, a guy who, for all intents and purposes, is just a younger version of Edge at the same age.
That is true.
You know, it's almost like looking at a mirror with maybe a little bit of a time warp in there. Kia, you're up first. I mean, I got to imagine this one's tough for you to pick, because I know you really like both of them, but who you got? I still don't think she's made her pick, even standing here right now.
And I feel like you just put me on the spot. I don't really know. I love them both, but I'm going to have to pick Seth. Something's just telling me I feel like Seth is going to, nothing against the disrespect, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I just feel like Seth is going to have some trick or something up his sleeve. He's going to not have told you. Again, as the architect, I still view him as Seth Rollins that had the bleach section in his hair. I still view him as the architect, and it's nothing against, you know, the rated R superstar, but for me, I feel like Seth has one thing that Edge does not have. I don't know what it is. I don't know how he's going to play it. I don't know how it's going to work. If you say so, but I feel like it's going to be Seth. Just
you know, and I will absolutely, you know, just go on record to say that, first of all, again, I've said it already on the show, I'm going to say it again, this is your match of the night.
Yeah, it is.
And that's on a very stacked card. But this is going to be your match of the night. This is going to be the one that's going to steal the show. This is going to be the ones that, you know, absolutely put things out there. I'm going the other way, though. I'm going Edge. You know, I don't know why. Edge has gone to the main stage, you know, here. He's come back. He's made these big returns. But the one thing he hasn't done since last year's WrestleMania is win. How many more times can you keep putting him in the spotlight and keep putting him in these big moments and not have him get a victory? That's no disrespect against Seth, but with all due respect, Seth can afford the loss and he'd be okay. You know? And that's why I feel like you've got to, you just had Edge lose at WrestleMania. You had him lose to Roman Reigns. Both of them under, you know, suspicious circumstances. Now you've got this rivalry with Seth because Seth is mad because Edge is the one who keeps getting these title shots. I feel like it's time for put up or shut up. And I really think Edge is going to find a way to go back into that sadistic, rated R side that I know you love seeing when he all of a sudden he pulls his hair back and his eyes start getting huge and he got that grin on his face and everything else. That one right there, in fact.
Yeah.
And I think Edge finds a way to hit one more move. And I like Edge winning this one.
Here's the thing. Here's what I see. I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, when Edge and Roman were fighting, somehow Seth got involved and said, no, I don't care what's going on. You've wronged me. We're about to square up and deal with it, so let's go. That's all I can remember, and just to see this match now, I want to see how Seth is going to play that. I want to see how Edge is going to play that.
Absolutely. But as I said, dream match. In the end, the ultimate winner is us, the fans.
Yeah.
The WWE Universe, we're the ultimate winners in this. Because it doesn't matter who wins. This is going to be one you're going to be out of your seat, whether you're in Vegas or whether you're sitting at home. This is going to be one where you're going to be out of your seat enjoying yourself, and I've got no doubts that you're going to be excited
at work,
you know, to see where things are, but I'm sure people will tell you plenty. So that handles all of our non-title matches. We have 4 left to go over for the rest of the pay-per-view, all of them world title matches. Let's move on to the first one, moving back to Monday Night Raw, and it is the lone triple threat match on the entire card, and it is for the Raw Women's Championship, and some familiar faces that we've seen over the last couple of months, as Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley will once again be in the Raw title picture, but yet neither of them holding a championship, as the title holder is currently the almost a superhero Nikki A.S.H. using Money in the Bank to enter SummerSlam as the Raw Women's Champion.
But here's my thing. I love this whole, because I wasn't really behind it. I didn't really understand it, and then I had to go back.
Plates.
And I had to look at how she got here from the start of Sanity to up till now. And if you look at it, she literally has done everything. Nikki A.S.H., almost a superhero, has done everything she's been asked, from showing up, working out, taking losses, taking wins, beating top-ranked people like Charlotte, which for me, I didn't feel like they would actually let her beat Charlotte. But not only did
couple of times.
But not only did they let her, or let me not say that. That just sounds so bad. She has gone and she has literally beaten the queen herself. I feel like she's dethroned her and taken what Charlotte feels like is her title. But let's not forget Rhea the Nightmare either. I feel like, put a boot in his neck, let her spit on him, yada, yada, yada.
Don't tell my personal business out here.
But my thing with that is I feel like these two women, as much as I love them both and I think they're great competitors, I'm also loving the storyline. I love how she's so Nikki is just so positive. Like, she's running around and she's superheroing this and she's so positive in her this title. You can tell me so much to her. This, on screen, off screen, when you see her doing promos or interviews or just talking to anybody and everybody, Bobby Lashley, Charlotte herself. When she's doing this, she is enjoying the moment. And that's what you want to see from a champion, enjoying the moment.
Well, Nikki was one that you and I talked about it right here on the show. We talked about, what are they going to do with her?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like she really had no place, especially when you start seeing other Sanity members starting to fall off and you start seeing people starting to get released. I really had a bad gut feeling that I thought that Nikki was going to be one that they were going to let go. Mm-hmm. Just because, not because necessarily she didn't have the talent, but because of the fact that I just thought they just didn't have a story for her. Like, what are they going to do with her? There's not really anyone you can merge her with for a tag team. And she's going to kind of just be sitting there, and then all of a sudden she shocks the world, wins Money in the Bank. I can promise you virtually no one picked Nikki to win, Money in the Bank, because there were a lot of other big names, and then had her cash in so quickly on a vulnerable Charlotte. to allow her to be able to win the championship. Again, I'm disappointed that the cash-in happened so quickly, but the fact is, Nikki has carried that championship well for these first couple of weeks that she's had it, but, she's faced each one of these folks individually. She's beaten both of them. She's lost to both of them. So, and again, with the whole triple threat rules, Nikki technically doesn't even have to be involved in the decision in order for her to do it. So you've got two competitors who may, for a temporary time, may take her out just so that way they can be able to fight each other, because that's where the main event between the two of them, they feel is where it belongs, is Rhea and Charlotte facing each other. So, I mean, with the triple threat rules, no disqualifications, don't have to be involved in the pin.
Or
this is 6, so I'm up. So
do you? And this is just a prediction, so don't take it for what it is. Do you have the man come back and run interference for Nikki to keep the women's title? That's just me. I'm thinking outside of the box. You have to think, before Becky left and went on maternity leave, she had a problem with Rhea, she had a problem with Charlotte.
Well, if WWE needs to counter a certain return from AEW, maybe this is the time for her to make her triumphant return.
But that to me,
does she do it during the match, or does she do it after the match for whoever's sitting there standing? Don't tell me that none of these three, we know what Becky and Charlotte can do. But I guess we need to decide, first of all, who's winning first. Under the circumstances, I'm actually up first on this one. And it's so easy to take Charlotte in a match like this. She's been there, bright stage, big lights, especially SummerSlam. You know how many times she's holding another world title reign for a Flair. As she continues to climb up the leaderboards. I think it'd be number 12 for her. Rhea, of course, has held the title once. Believes that she is capable of winning again. And again, everybody in this match has proven that they can beat each other. I'm going to be the one, though, that's going to be the one taking the long shot. The one no one thinks is going to win. I got Nikki retaining. And the reason being is because she has found a way to be in the right place at the right time. And even if that spot is her having to take a loss to learn something, she's getting smarter, she's getting better, and she is embracing this almost a superhero persona that she has brought in, and now she's holding gold, and she is determined that I'm not just going to be a paper champion who's just going to walk in and lose it out. I think these two are going to absolutely beat the living crap out of each other, as they should on a stage this big, but I think right moment, right time, Nikki steps in at just the right moment to pick the bones of one of them who's going to do the work, and the crowd's going to erupt because of it, but I like Nikki finding a way. She's going to walk out still the Raw Women's Champion.
I feel like these two right here, Charlotte and Rhea, the Queen and the Nightmare, I feel like they have a bone to still pick with each other. So I feel like they're going to be fighting against each other, which again, like you said, will have Nikki come in at the right time, at the right place, and pick the bones. But I also feel like you said, they're going to work with each other to get her out of the picture and to make sure that the title does not go back to her. But in my opinion, as I love Rhea, I love Charlotte. I am so glad that, Nikki Cross, Nikki A.S.H, almost superhero, however you want to put it, she's holding the title, and she's not just holding it and say, oh, it is what it is. She's holding it proudly, and I do not see any way that she doesn't retain this title. So my pick is going with her, too.
You're going with Nikki as well.
Plus, I love the face mask and the butterfly and everything
else. Can you imagine when they start selling those at the shop? When you're at a live show and there's some little girl over there who's going to be able to put on the mask and the little cape.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy sell right there, especially if you're wanting to convince, and promote wrestling towards these younger girls. I mean, It's not like Sasha and Bianca are the only two that are capable of doing this. Now all of a sudden you're getting other folks that are all kinds of things. You've got the pretty blonde, you've got the goth blonde, and then you've got the almost superhero. It doesn't matter what your background is or what you think you are as a little girl. These three are showing you right here that you can do this. You can get here no matter where you come from, and no matter what your mindset is, you have the capability of being able to get here.
I'm actually excited. I'm not going to be able to see any of the pay-per-view because I'm going to be at work.
Boo!
But I look forward to hearing the results. I look forward to going back and looking at it, and who knows, I might come home, and there might be a day I might go to sleep, at like 2, 3 in the morning, and I might just stay up and I might look at the pay-per-view just to see if I won, if I didn't, who did I pick, did they win, how did they win, because that to me is important. How did you win?
Exactly.
And how did you retain your title?
So both of us have Nikki in this one. Staying on Monday Night Raw, we will handle their last championship match, and it is for the WWE Championship between two absolute behemoths of men, as the incumbent champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley, defends against the icon Goldberg. Now, we've come publicly on the show. We've seen Goldberg, have matches, for certain championships. He's been a multiple-time Universal Champion. We look at all the championships in WWE, and there's only one that Goldberg has never held, and that is the WWE Championship. You also look at someone like Bobby Lashley, who has been an absolute just monster throughout the way. He has absolutely run through folks like Drew McIntyre. He has run through folks like the New Day, and has done so as a proud champion. At this point, after what we saw at Money in the Bank with him absolutely just destroying Kofi Kingston, a former WWE champion himself, at this point, there's no more games when it comes to Bobby Lashley. At this stage, though, he's up against a guy who, power for power, can match up with him, despite the fact that he's a little bit older. Goldberg, we know, in real quick spurts, can finish someone quickly. We know infamously about his minute-and-a-half win over Brock Lesnar, multiple-time Universal Champion. This is one where this isn't going to be a lightweight fight. This is going to be one that's going to be fast, it's going to be quick, and it's going to have a lot of force and a lot of power behind it.
I'm going on the record.
Arguably, this preview may take longer than the match.
No, it's not. I already know my pick, and I'm going on the record to say that, to me, why do you keep coming back? Stay home. Be a family man, for Christ's sakes. I don't want to see you. I don't know who else in the WWE don't want to see you, but why do you come back to take a title off of someone who's been here, who's been working, who's been doing what they're supposed to, who has literally deserving of it, and he's holding the title, and he's literally running roughshod through everybody, even the biggest people, like you said, Drew. So for him to come back, it really is no need. I feel like, no disrespect, this match is kind of thrown together, and I feel like this match is going to be maybe a minute or two long if Goldberg lasts that long in this match.
If this match only goes a minute or two, Goldberg's winning. If it goes longer than that, then Lashley's winning.
But here's my thing. I feel Lashley, even as a big man, I feel like he's got speed, he's got power, he's got strength. He's got everything you need in a champion. Goldberg, not so much. There is no mystery. I do not like him. I do not care what y'all say. If y'all hate me, it is what it is.
And you're a Georgia guy, too. I mean, come on.
And
either way, it is what it is.
Oh, so my pick?
Well, you're up first.
The almighty, Bobby Lashley.
Going Lashley.
He's going to retain.
Gotcha. MVP has Lashley lasting at a different level, but I've also gone on record on this show that says there are two people I don't pick against. I never pick against two people. I never pick against The Rock, and I never pick against Bill Goldberg. That's not going to change today, so for the record, I am officially going Goldberg. But here's the story, and everyone knows it. I mean, there's no mystery behind what Goldberg's going to do. He is a guy who goes 100% effort, 100% force, right from minute one, and he's going to hit you with so much power that you've got to outlast him for those first couple of minutes. And even as good as Lashley is, he's proven he's beatable if you can hit him hard enough and quick enough and surprise him. There's no mystery, again, as to what Bill Goldberg's going to put out there. It's going to come down to the fact of, can Lashley last about 3-4 minutes somewhere in there and outlast that initial run of spears, jackhammers, whatever else that Goldberg decides to put out there. If you can outlast it, Lashley has the stamina. Lashley has the extra power in the tank that he's going to be able to wear him down. The problem is, though, right from the get-go, this may be the only person on the roster who will outmatch Lashley in power right from the get-go, with maybe the exception of Braun Strowman, who's not with the company anymore. I just think that Goldberg came back with a mission. I think he came back for a reason. He's also going to try to win the only title he's never won. I know it's not the popular pick. A lot of people expect Lashley to retain here, including you. But I'm going to go on the record, and I'm going to think that he's going to find a way to be able to hit that one move right at the end. I don't know if they'll spear each other and crack heads or something, because they both use spears. But I don't know why. I think Goldberg finds a way. I don't pick against him. I'm not going to do it here. I like Goldberg winning the only title he's never won. He will be WWE Champion at the end of the night.
I don't think so, but whatever.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Okay. 2 matches to go. There's still a wheel spin to go. For those of you that are still in here talking, we've had one winner already. Alexis 23 Frick, I think was her name. So if you happen to join us in the crowd, hey, congratulations. You won earlier. We'll be in contact with you. We got 2 matches left, and it's the 2 that everyone have been mainly talking about in here. The debate in the comments have been, what should be your main event tonight? And we had a tough time picking. We really did. But in the end, we are going with Reigns and Cena as your main event, as expected. They've been the ones that have been on the posters. They've been on the ones that everybody's talking about, which of course means our co-main event is going to be a WrestleMania rematch, and that is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the Smackdown Women's Championship. First of all, look at those renders. Oh my Lord. Beautiful. Both of them.
Yeah,
That's
agree.
it? That's all the reaction I'm going to get from you?
No, I agree.
Plates.
I'm just waiting to speak on this match.
Go, girl.
So I'm excited, first and foremost, to see, again, being an African American woman, getting to see these two, not just at WrestleMania, being there and getting to feel that energy and getting to feel the hype that they carried the whole their storyline before Mania got me invested. I literally sat there in front of the screen. I was excited. I was thrilled. I could not wait. And then on top of that, I couldn't wait to see the outfits these two put together because Bianca designs her own, and she has a YouTube channel where you can watch her designing her.
They're fantastic.
They're
they really
fantastic.
are.
But then to pay homage to Naomi and Alicia Fox, and I believe Ariane, for making this outfit and looking as good as she did coming out. I saw the pictures. That's not the point. The point is Bianca won that night, and she's been holding that title, and she's the women's Smackdown title, and she's been doing it justice every single time she goes out to compete, every time she goes for an interview. She's been doing her thing. Now, we did miss Sasha for a little bit because I think she was doing the taping of...
A lot of people thought she was doing Mandalorian, but they actually have announced that Mandalorian's not being filmed until later toward the end of this month. So we don't know where she was, but it wasn't doing Mandalorian.
But it was taking the time that I felt like she needed to come back and be refreshed and get this whole new swag with all this leather and diamonds and glasses. And only a real boss can hold it down like that. To see this match, but to come back and they're dancing, they're having a good time, everything is great. But like you said, we know Sasha and her manipulative, boss-like side said, just because you're holding that title, don't mean I don't have a receipt in the tank.
Let me drop Alyssa here. Alyssa, what did I keep yelling during all of that?
Come on now. Don't be dumb. You know it's coming.
You know that receipt's coming. Turn, Bianca, turn. You know it's... There it is.
I mean,
you knew that receipt was coming. Sasha always brings that receipt.
I saw the YouTube video. I was like, oh, they're dancing. They're having a good time. But you could see the look in Sasha's eyes. Everything's great. And boom, they're like...
I look at this match. This is your women's division in a nutshell. If you're going to send one match for the women out there to represent this company, these are the two you want out there. We've been talking up Bianca for years since she was down in NXT. And, in a year, that's all it took for them to give her the keys to the Cadillac and be able to show it. Hey, her Cadillac, and give her the keys to the kingdom. Guess what? Sasha's back, and she wants what she believes is rightfully hers.
You have fierce, you have dominant, you have strength and speed. We've seen her in her workouts. If you hadn't, go check her out. But we've also seen Sasha, too, putting pictures up there, showing off. These two, I'm excited, and as much as I'm excited for the match, afterwards, these two right here, they're who I'm looking forward to. These are the women. And even for, the other women's match, they're what I'm looking forward to. But this match, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I cannot wait.
If Cena versus Reigns is not on this card,
this will be the main event.
This is your main event right here. And it's not even debatable. This right here are the two that have put the women's division to where they are always in the conversation as to being part of the main event. These two main evented first night of WrestleMania. Deservedly so, and they absolutely tore down Tampa.
Yep.
They absolutely deserve to be in that co-main event spotlight. A lot of people would argue this should be the main event, even above Reigns and Cena.
I agree.
But I can see why Reigns and Cena are going to be out there because of Cena's, push towards the movie business. Sasha, granted, starting to get there, but, not quite up to Cena's, she doesn't have quite that establishment yet. Yet is the key word. This right here has everything you want. The biggest argument being, who can outwork the other? Well, you know what? You got to stop and you got to pause for a second because you know what? We know how hard she works.
Mm-hmm. But we
know how hard she works too, and I'm not sure that either one of them are ready for this, in terms of how much of a build it's going to be because now they've got to go with their WrestleMania match and have got to find a way to one-up that. That already set the bar so high.
High expectations.
How are they going to follow this up with the second? And, we don't know. If Bianca wins again, does this end this? If Sasha wins, a third one's coming at some point. When does it happen? Do we have to wait till next year's WrestleMania? Do we have to wait till Survivor Series? When does that rematch happen? So, I'm up first on this one. God, I hate that I always have to pick first during Bianca and Sasha.
Let me tell you something. You put me on the spot. It's your turn. Who are you picking?
Oh, God. See, I had my picks on every match except for this one. And I said, I'm just going to go with my gut at the time that it's time to pick.
And who's your gut telling you?
I love them both.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they could find a way for both of them to win. Can they do like, I'm getting there, calm down. Can they do like Lay Cool where they can cut the title belt in half, and they each can have a half? What do y'all think about that? Co Smackdown Women's Champions. God, I've loved Bianca in her reign. She has absolutely represented the women's division so well.
She has.
We know what Sasha's capable of as women's champion. I really don't think you go wrong with this. Again, this is going to be very much similar to Seth and Edge, where the ultimate winner is going to be us as the fans.
Exactly.
But if you force me on the spot to make a pick, Sasha. Because Sasha has been there. She's been there when the lights are the brightest. She's been there when it's, basically I'm giving the same reason why Sasha should have retained at WrestleMania. And Bianca proved that she's capable of handling those bright lights as well. And that's why she's holding the SmackDown Women's Championship. Sasha came back for a reason. She's got something prepared. She has something ready to go. She didn't come back to lose. Or what's the saying that we keep hearing? I didn't come back get this far to just go this far.
Mm-hmm.
She's coming back to claim what's hers, and I think she's going to have that one extra little step. I like Sasha winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. I mean, in a nail-biter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think this is done. I think Part 3 comes up real soon, and they're going to hype it up big. I don't know when it's going to happen, but, can you picture Survivor Series, both these on Team SmackDown? I'm just looking a couple of months later now in Brooklyn in November. But I like Sasha winning the title.
Okay, I mean, I get it. These are two strong, feminine, dominant black women who literally keep everybody watching and in suspense. Who's going to win? How are they going to win? What are they going to do? My opinion, you're picking Sasha, and as great as she came back for a purpose. She came back for a reason. The boss will not sit on the sideline and expect to just watch. She'll watch and she'll game plan, but then she's coming back and she's saying, that title? I didn't lose that title. That title, I was being nice. I let you have it. Now, Bianca, on the other hand, may be feeling a little bit differently. I feel like, in my opinion, Bianca's going to walk away and she's going to retain her title and she's going to make it look good doing it. So it's Sasha's back. I'm glad that she's back. I'm glad to have her back. But I see Bianca winning. She's strong. She's fierce. She's competitive. She will not let no one outdo her. And after what
EST for a reason.
Exactly. And after what I saw, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is again. I was the one that picked her at WrestleMania. I also picked her to, not Money in the Bank, but, what was the wrestling pay-per-view we were looking at where she won?
Still Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah. I picked her for that.
You picked Royal Rumble, too.
I sure did. And there's no way that pick is going to change. The EST is going to retain. She's going to win. I'm sorry to Sasha, but it is what it is.
And the fact is, we've talked about it before, how, every Hall of Famer, and you can look across not just wrestling, but any sport in general, there's always that one person that's a Hall of Fame caliber person, Hall of Famer, no doubt, no question, but then there's always that one person that may not quite get to the accolades that you do, may not have the prestige, but somehow always has your number. Every single time. You wonder, is Bianca going to be that person to Sasha? Because Sasha and Charlotte have traded off wins. Sasha and Becky have traded wins. All the 4 horsewomen have traded. Bayley and Sasha have traded wins.
Yep.
But Bianca has always been one step ahead of Sasha. And basically we're going with the same picks we made at Mania for almost the same reasons. You took it at Mania. Let's see if is history, set to repeat itself.
I feel like Sasha came back. She gave her that receipt. Bianca's like, okay, now my head's been on a swivel with everybody, but now I've got to keep my eye on you because you seem like you're coming back with a vendetta to take the title that belongs to me. So that's why I feel like Bianca's going to win. Retain.
And with that, we move on to our final match, the main event. Everyone's been talking about it for months. It became official a few weeks ago, but the main event of SummerSlam for the Universal Championship, the head of the table, the big dog,
Yeah, sure.
whatever you want, whatever accolades you want to put in here, the tribal chief, and what is being referred to by Michael Cole as the best of this time, the Universal Champion Roman Reigns, taking on by most the best of all time in John Cena. Now, this will actually be only the second time we've ever actually gotten to have John Cena on our Top Rope Spoilers. We got him back at 36 when he took on The Fiend in a match that ended up being kind of a cinematic show. So this will be the first physical wrestling match that we're actually going to see John Cena wrestling in, as he attempts, of course, to make history, winning, first of all, a championship he's never won before in the Universal Championship, but also this, of course, would be championship number 17 if Cena gets it done, which passes Ric Flair for the most all-time in WWE history. A caveat also added to this match Roman Reigns putting the pressure on himself to basically deliver here, because he said on SmackDown last night, if he does not beat John Cena, not only will he not be Universal Champion, he will leave WWE voluntarily if Roman Reigns loses this match to John Cena. He's put the pressure on himself. He's put it out there. Both of these guys, we know what they can do in the big time. Both of them have 5 and 8 WrestleMania main events. 13 WrestleMania main events between the two of them. But now it all comes to a head for the biggest title in the game.
So let me speak on it, because I had to go back and watch. I heard that they put on a back and forth when they were on the mic and then they were in the ring. We said for the longest time, let Roman speak freely, because when that man speaks, he slaps. Don't be giving him no script. Throw those things aside. Let him speak out of his mind. Cena has always been able to speak. It is what it is.
Because I know we can make our producer laugh with one of those. It's like missionary position every single night. Oh! Got her back there laughing. I've got to point a camera at her at some point during one of these.
Y'all are killing me, but this back and forth between Cena and Reigns, I was feeling it, and I loved it, and I need them to do this more, so I'm hoping this is not a one-off. So in my opinion, I feel like I need Reigns to retain, because I want this back and forth between a veteran who's been here, who's put in the time and the effort, and who is coming back to win a title he has not won. And yes, that is Cena, and yes, we all can clearly see you and everything else. But Reigns, you remember when I said, oh, I don't know if his heel roll will do well, I don't know if he's going to be able to speak, he's going to need a mouthpiece. This was me. Mm-hmm. But then the moment he got with Paul Heyman, I was like, oh, they're about to turn him heel, I can't wait to see this. And the fact y'all are letting him speak, it just gives me that vibe of he's going to do great things of being a heel, holding the title, and he's being the best heel I think we have seen in our time right now. And that's coming from me, but still, he ain't going to win. Either way, Cena has also, been here and has been in this business. We've seen we've seen face and we've seen heel. So to have these two go against each other, and to not only are they good on the mic, but they're good in the ring. I want to see who's going to one up each other. I want to see who's going to go that above and beyond. But we also know that every time Roman goes above and beyond, he's got just a little more. Cena's like, you may have had that title, it might be yours, but you've got 1, 2, 3. You got a little moment slip, and all I need is 1, 2, 3, and that title's mine. That was referenced several times, and I feel like, hey, right time, right place. Paul Heyman's out of the way. Usos are out of the way, because Cena has always felt like when he competes, he never feels like it's a one-on-one like he wants it to be. He feels like it's a 4 or 5-on-1, and he will take out literally. I feel like if the Usos get involved, he'll take them out. Paul Heyman gets involved, he'll take them out. Anybody that tries to interfere with this match, he will take them out and still handle Roman.
The reality is both of these guys have been here when the lights are on the bright.
They have.
WrestleMania main events, multiple world championships between the both of them. And again, I think Michael Cole said it best. Best of this time versus the best of all time. Mm-hmm. Cena's been away from the business. Is he going to have a little ring rust on him? Because he's been away for a little while Roman Reigns is absolutely operating at the top of the game that he's ever been. And he's been main eventing WrestleMania for years.
That is
and
true.
He's never been more fierce than he is right now. And I love the fact that Reigns is putting the pressure on himself, saying, not only will I put my title on the line, I'll put my job on the line. Saying, I'm that confident that I know I can beat you, Cena, that, I'll basically leave if I don't beat you.
But here's the thing, I love that he said that, because that's how you know he's extremely confident in his abilities to beat my man Cena. That's how you know. I'm just saying, if you wouldn't put that out there unless you knew you were going to win. So kudos to him for putting that out there in the atmosphere. I wouldn't do it.
Exactly. I don't know if I'm that confident against the best of all time, but Roman is determined, you're not making history on me.
Nope.
Number 17's not coming at my expense.
Nope.
Let's not keep the audience waiting, because the wheel's next. They're ready for that second one. Main event time, who's walking out Universal Champion? And you can't say Big E. Or Baron Corbin, I guess.
My dude, my baby, my love, 2005, he is the reason I started watching wrestling. This man right here, we all can see him in that loud green, yellow hat. It's Cena. Nothing against Reigns, and nothing against our producer, because I know she's talking smack in her mind about me right now.
Talking
girl,
so much shit.
She is really, out her neck with it. But who's your pick?
You got Cena, okay?
And I do.
You don't pick against Big Match John. That's just how things work. and yet I'm gonna. You know, you don't put your job on the line. You don't put, you know, a title in this situation. The one thing we haven't discussed at any point is the bloodline. Cena has never been a person who feels like he needs to have anybody go behind him. He has been a guy who is perfectly fine walking into a 1-on-5 on his own.
Exactly.
And he knows that means that every now and then you're going to get your ass handed to you for it.
Oh, well.
You know, but the fact is, Cena is going to come ready. This is the main event of SummerSlam, your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and deservedly so. And that is no slight or disrespect against Bianca and Sasha. They know what they bring to the table, but this is what should be the main event. But you don't put your job on the line unless you are that confident. Reigns is operating at another level. This is going to be the career win for him. Believe it or not, for those of you who aren't familiar with your history, this is not the first time these two have faced each other one-on-one. They did face each other a couple of years ago with Reigns winning. But I remember a line he used back then. He said, I keep coming back because you can't do your job.
Yes.
You know, well, he's back again because he feels like you're not doing your job as Universal Champion. I think he's operating at another level right now. And even against the best of all time, Reigns is right where he needs to be. That's at the top. The bloodline continues forward. Roman Reigns still Universal Champion at the end of the night.
And he's up, and he's up, and he's up, and he's stuck.
There you go. So that's our SummerSlam top rope spoilers. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. I appreciate everybody who's stayed in here. Y'all have been so patient. We did one wheel spin already.
Thank you, Jay Torres. I'm glad I'm not in this boat by myself because my friend
over here making faces.
She's making me feel some type of way right now, but that's okay.
But hey, it's wheel time. Let's move on to our second wheel spin. This is to determine our second winner. We already had Alexis Frick win the first one. Oh, no, wait, that's a picture. Sorry, I'm trying to... Again, this is when you do things live, you got to figure out where everything is on here. So let me get this back up here and go ahead and full screen it now. Alexis, we did remove her name from the list from where she won the first time. So at this point, we're now going to spin the wheel again. You know, it's already been randomized earlier. For those of you who joined in later, it was randomized earlier. So that way everybody's in a separate spot. So now there are 99 entries on here. So everybody has just a slight more than 1% chance of being able to win.
So for those who are asking, yes, this is our second spin. We've already done the first one, and Alexis 22 Frick was 23. The winner. 23. Congratulations to you. So I'm excited.
Again, the one thing, of course, to note is the fact that because she did win, we have removed her entry off the board.
It's right over here.
Now, in theory, if Alexis does have more than one entry, it is technically possible for her to win a second time. Mathematically, let's put it this way, Alexis, if you win a second time, you need to go buy some lottery tickets tonight. Okay, just go play lottery because clearly the luck is in your favor.
And share with your good friends Kia and Steve.
There you go. Remember who got you there. But hey, we're going to spin the wheel. For those of you whoever does win, make sure your DMs are open. We're going to be contacting you after the show's over. So they've waited. They've been patient.
I'm waiting. I've been patient.
Mela Kick is going to lose her mind in this thing if we continue to do it. So
she's not
here
by
we go.
herself.
Second spin. Let's do it. Jay Torres, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's ended up working out, and this one was for her. We put the TRP at the bottom. This one is because you watched our top rope spoilers, and she's she's actually in our crowd. I've been watching her the entire time. But this one is for actually watching the top rope spoilers for NXT TakeOver. So your first entry didn't technically get you the win, but this one is the one that did. So Jay Torres, congratulations. I know you're in our crowd. You've been hanging out with us the entire time. People, please don't be mad at her. Don't yell at her. Don't start blocking her or nothing. But, you know, congratulations. So, hey, have your DMs open. You're getting a WWE Shop T-Shirt via us. So congratulations to you and to Alexis, who won the contest earlier. For those of you, of course, who didn't win, you know, obviously we know there's some disappointed people. That's the problem when you do these contests. Is we don't have enough money to pay everybody a T-shirt, unfortunately. Somebody wants to sponsor us, Starbucks. You know, feel free to do so. But you know, the love and outpouring of support that we've gotten this week, you know, especially when we do the big pay-per-views. You know, it's so heartwarming to us because it makes what we do here worthwhile. We've said it many times on here before. We don't get paid for this. If anything, we go in the red for this.
Well, you know what I love about the wrestling community, and it's not just in person, it's online. they go to bat for you. They talk to you. And it's not just because we're wrestling fans. I talk to a lot of them outside of on the ring apron, and it's just like, hey, we have other interests in common. I love talking to our fans. I don't consider them fans anymore. They are family. They are our family. They're all over the country. They're all over the world. And it's great to know that you watch us and you love the same thing that we love, and we can talk to you, and we can get your explanations, and we can get your predictions and your spoilers. And yes, sometimes we might, have a disagreement, but who doesn't? And who doesn't want to see their person win? And who doesn't get upset emotionally when their person loses? That's me.
Right. If you're in your feelings and you're feeling pain when your person loses, regardless, we've talked about wrestling before, and they said the worst noise you can hear
is crickets.
Is silence. Exactly. Well, as a fan, it's the same way. If you're feeling nothing,
then
something's wrong. They're not doing things. If you're emotionally invested, if you're sitting at the edge of your chair, if you can't take your eyes off that TV, they're doing something right, and that's what this is all about. It doesn't matter if you're a WWE fan, AEW, New Japan, Impact, I don't care. If you're at the edge of your seat enjoying yourself as a wrestling fan, this is a great time to be a wrestling fan.
But these wrestlers, women, men, everybody, they're putting their bodies on the line, they're putting their life on the line, and they're doing it to entertain us. We help them get where they've got to go. We buy their merchandise. We go see them. We see them via Zoom. It is what it is. And so if you're not crying or you're not angry or you're not screaming at your TV, then you're not feeling what we're feeling. So it just says, don't even watch.
Exactly. So hey, it's SummerSlam day again. If you're not excited, especially Alexis and Jay Torres, hopefully we made your day. For those of you who did join us, hey, we have contests and giveaways all the time. So don't quit. But jeez.
I ain't shaking hands before.
And somehow we still went well over an hour.